Mark Curry needs to grow up. Steve Harvey has been on stage since 2015.
We do have some breaking news that we want to bring to you. It was being reported by TMZ and now Fox News. We are learning that Jay-Z is accused of a 13-year-old girl. That is new in the Diddy lawsuit.
You know how they say the bigger they are, the harder they fall? Well, buckle up, because what's happening with Beyoncé and Jay-Z right now isn't just a fall. It's a full-blown collapse. And honestly, we should have seen it coming years ago. Picture this. A pregnancy scandal so explosive it makes Jay-Z's past infidelities look like a schoolyard crush. An assault allegation that ties him to the most dangerous man in hip-hop. And Beyoncé, Queen Bey herself, caught in the middle, forced to choose between her empire and her conscience. And the wildest part, the first domino didn't even drop yesterday. It fell 7 years ago at a party we all forgot about, with a woman no one took seriously until now. The internet's already calling it the end of the Carters. But here's the truth. This isn't just a scandal. It's the kind of story that rewrites legacies. So, let's start with the question no one's asking out loud. What if the real reason Beyoncé stayed wasn't love or money or even power, but fear? Because the man she's married to, he might not just be a cheater. He might be something far worse. And the proof? It's been hiding in plain sight. So what happens now is this is simply a civil complaint. And in a civil complaint, it goes through the technical legal process. Now, the distinction, Jessica, between civil and criminal, of course, is that civil is for monetary damages, right? The system can't only reward you with money. There's allegations that this 13-year-old is suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder, suffered depression, etc. So, now you go to fact find. Now, let's start with the bomb that just dropped. Lori Harvey, yes, that Lori Harvey, Steve Harvey's stepdaughter, the woman who's been linked to everyone from Michael B. Jordan to Diddy himself, is reportedly pregnant. And not just pregnant, but allegedly carrying Jay-Z's baby. Let that sink in for a second. The man who built an entire persona around being Beyoncé's king. The man who rapped about fidelity and legacy. Man who weathered lemonade and came out the other side with his reputation intact, might have just fathered a child with a woman young enough to be his daughter's friend. And the kicker, this isn't some random tabloid rumor. This is the whisper turning into a scream. The kind of story that starts in DMs and ends up trending worldwide before the sun sets. Because if there's one thing we've learned about the Carters, is that their scandals don't stay quiet for long. Her mother is 54 years old. Her mother is 5 years older. But here's where it gets even messier. This isn't just about Lori and Jay. Oh no, this is about a party, Diddy's party. The same Diddy who's currently sitting in a jail cell facing human trafficking charges, so horrifying they've sent shock waves through the entire industry. The same Diddy who, according to a bombshell lawsuit, allegedly assaulted a 13-year-old girl in 2000 with Jay-Z in the room. Let us repeat that. A lawsuit claims Jay-Z was there, not just present, but participating. And while Jay's team has screamed blackmail and defamation, calling the allegations a shameless cash grab, the timing of this Lori Harvey pregnancy rumor, it's almost too perfect. Almost like the universe has a sick sense of humor, dropping one scandal right on top of another, forcing us to ask, is this coincidence or is this the domino effect of a life built on secrets finally toppling over? Now, let's rewind just a little, because the Lori Harvey connection, it's not new. Oh no, this goes back to 2019, to that infamous Rock Nation brunch where the internet lost its mind over a single photo. You remember it, Lori? All smiles, leaning in close to Jay-Z while Beyoncé stood just feet away, radiating that effortless queen energy she's famous for. The Beehive, bless their hearts, didn't take kindly to that. Within hours, Lori's Instagram comments were flooded with bee emojis, a digital swarm, a warning, a reminder that you don't smile at the king without consequences. Lori, ever the savvy socialite, clapped back with a tweet. Meanwhile, I'm part of the Beehive. Smooth, right? Except now, in the cold light of 2026, that moment doesn't look like flirty banter. It looks like foreshadowing. I love the fact that we work in an industry where we get to meet people that we actually are fans of. We don't become people who don't have special celebrities to them because we work in entertainment. Like, we love certain people, too. We love certain people. And Beyoncé is definitely probably the one and only at that level for me. And let's talk about the Beehive for a second, because their reaction back then, it wasn't just fandom. It was a movement. These are the same fans who turned Becky with the good hair into a cultural phenomenon, who dissected Lemonade like it was the Zapruder film, who have spent years defending Beyoncé against every perceived slight, real or imagined. So when they saw Lori Harvey, young, beautiful, connected, getting a little too cozy with Jay, they didn't just roll their eyes. They mobilized. Comments disabled, tweets deleted, a full-on digital eraser. Because in the world of the Beehive, loyalty isn't just expected, it's enforced. And Jay-Z, he's always been the weak link in that equation. The man who cheated, who lied, who forced Beyoncé to turn her pain into art while he got to play the repentant husband. So when the pregnancy rumor hit, the reaction wasn't just shock, it was betrayal. Again, in a blistering statement, Jay-Z accuses Jane Doe's attorney of trying to blackmail him. And he said further, quote, "These allegations are so heinous in nature that I implore you to file a criminal complaint, not a civil one. Whomever would commit such a crime against a minor should be locked away. Would you?" But here's the thing about Jay-Z, he's always been a master of reinvention. The substance dealer turned rapper turned businessman turned billionaire. The man who turned his stabbing charge into a myth, his infidelity into a redemption arc. So when the assault allegations surfaced, when his name was added to that lawsuit alongside Diddy's, his response was classic Jay, denial, deflection, and a healthy dose of how dare you. His statement was a masterclass in controlled fury, calling the allegations heinous, accusing the plaintiff's lawyer of blackmail, even dragging his children into it, talking about the heartbreak of explaining this to Blue Ivy. It was the performance of a man who knows exactly how to play the victim when the world starts closing in. And yet, there's a but. Because while Jay was busy crafting his response, the internet was doing what it does best, digging. And what they found wasn't just damning, it was pattern. Let's talk about that 2000 party, shall we? The one where a 13-year-old girl claims that she was sedated, assaulted, and left traumatized for life. The one where, according to the lawsuit, Jay-Z didn't just stand by, he participated. Now, Jay's team has called this a shakedown, a money grab, the work of a lawyer who's made a career out of targeting rich men with ugly accusations. And maybe that's true, but here's the problem. This isn't the first time we've heard stories like this about Diddy. Oh no, this is the man whose mansions were raided by the FBI, who's facing a trial that could put him away for life, who's been accused by multiple women of similar crimes. And Jay-Z, he's been Diddy's ride or loyal for decades. So why does Puffy, why does it all come to a head now? Why? Why now? Why? Because he's the acceptable monster at this time, like R. Kelly was the last time I sat on this couch. So who's next? Y'all don't see the lineup. Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, we see the collaborations, the parties, the public shows of brotherhood. These two didn't just run in the same circles, they were the circle. So when the lawsuit dropped and Jay's name was right there alongside Diddy's, the question wasn't just did he do it? It was what else do we not know? And that's where the Lori Harvey pregnancy rumor comes in. Because if we're being honest, this isn't just about a baby. It's about a pattern. It's about a man who spent his entire career surrounded by beautiful women, who's been accused of infidelity more times than we can count, who's now tied to a scandal so dark it makes his past indiscretions look like child's play. And Beyoncé, she's not just his wife, she's his brand, the face of feminism, the queen of black excellence, the woman who turned girl power into a billion-dollar empire. So, when the world starts whispering that her husband might have gotten another woman pregnant, and not just any woman, but one connected to Diddy, the man at the center of the biggest scandal in hip-hop history, what's she supposed to do? Stand by her man or cut him loose before he drags her down with him? In the film itself, I call him the normal, regular guy, the simple guy. He kind of won your heart over. How does that relate to how you are personally as a person, and for a person like that to actually win your heart over? All it takes is a conversation, which is exactly where that love began in the movie. It just took a now, let's talk about the elephant in the room, lemonade. Because if there's one thing we've learned from Beyoncé, it's that she doesn't do coincidence. That album wasn't just music. It was a confession, a public fling of Jay-Z's infidelity, a masterclass in turning personal pain into cultural currency. And it worked. The world rallied around her. She became more than a star. She became a symbol, the woman who survived,